Hi, this is Ramla Akhtar. I'm the founder of Pakistan Changemakers Hub. Today I want to talk about who by definition changemakers really are and who by the same definition would not exactly qualify as changemakers but perhaps something else. Changemakers are people who are part of this ongoing global movement for change. And what is this change about? This change is about democratizing the fruits of human knowledge, innovation in various fields such as the environment, the healthcare, business, law and order, etc. So far, a smaller part of the human population has had access to the fruits of human knowledge. By fruits, we mean products or facilities. But now people in various countries and nations, there are certain peoples who are saying, okay, let's take this change down to the grassroots level, and these people are community leaders and innovators who are thinking outside the box of limitations and making change happen on an absolutely global scale. Now, these change makers exist in all parts of the world. They've been working since forever, but what we are seeing right now is that these change makers all over the world are connecting. They're connecting within their communities, and then they're connecting with the larger world. So far in Pakistan, we have not had a place where change makers would identify themselves and really understand that they are working not for something the same, but working really for an evolutionary leap. And that leap is to bring, as I said, the fruits of human innovation and knowledge to all the people of the world. For instance, education for all or healthcare for all is a change maker's goal. Simply provision of health, being a doctor is not exactly being a change maker, though it is in a sense, certainly it's doing good. Anybody who does anything at all, anything productive at all, since eternity has been doing good. When we speak of change makers, we're speaking of an acceleration process. So who are change makers? Change makers are not people who are talking about things anymore. They are taking concrete actions. They are community leaders and innovators in their certain fields. When we speak about community leaders, we're speaking about change for people. And when we speak about innovation or when we speak about mastery in a certain field, then we're talking about things. So you could be two things at the same time. You could be a person who is democratizing healthcare, for instance, or who is into urban agriculture and making sure that every house has its own kitchen garden, for instance. And that makes you both an innovator in your field because you're perhaps working on developing a certain idea, a certain project or product or a certain technique. And at the same time, you are a community leader. So it's both things at one time. For being a change maker, you are not just somebody, the change maker is not just somebody who talks about an idea or who thinks something should happen. They're people who really making change happen. They have undertaken a project, or they are undertaking a project, or who have a concrete idea for a concrete project. For instance, somebody could be a change maker when they have the technique for earthquake-proof housing, for instance, but maybe they don't have the right kind of resources and they need to connect with other people. Or somebody could be a change maker if they have developed, let's say, a cellular application for democratizing education. But perhaps they need to match up with an educational institution, or so on and so forth. So the Pakistan Changemakers Hub is replicating a practice that is ongoing all over the world at this moment. All over the world, change makers are identifying themselves and they're using particularly the internet to interconnect with each other. Therefore forming a grid of change makers. It's like a table having 4 legs, or an electronic grid. You need to have something to stand on, and these change makers are people on whose shoulders change is standing on, and they need to connect together in a framework, just like the legs of a table, as I just said. So in Pakistan, we have change makers who are making things happen, people who are innovators and community leaders at the same time. But so far we don't have a place where they can connect. And only when they connect can we have a framework, a coherent, integrated framework for change. And we can make connections happen, and we can accelerate the speed of change. This is what this is all about. So On the Pakistan Changemakers Hub, we're looking for change makers themselves, and we're looking for the projects that they're doing, and we want to know, what if you're a change maker, what are you doing as a change maker, what are your qualifications, what do you have to offer, and what is your need. So when you specify that, maybe you could integrate or connect with somebody else who has something to offer that you need, and who has something to need that you have to offer. Either way, that works. So this is really what Changemakers Hub is all about. We are here for action, we are here for projects, we are here for making things happen, we are here for getting business done. This is less about wishful thinking, this is really not about motivational speak, this is about concrete actions. So now you know what change makers really are. If you are a change maker, do not be shy to share your project here. Do not be afraid that your knowledge will be taken. The more you talk about your project, the more you really will have support for your project. If you are somebody who knows change makers, why don't you join us as a change hunter? I will be announcing more about that later on the page. You can become a change hunter, you can find change makers. If you're just somebody who's simply enthusiastic, who wants to get inspired, be on this page, get inspired, see what happens, and maybe one day you can become either a change maker or the supporter of a change maker project. So use this page, it's for you. Thank you for being on this page.